Hello and welcome to another One Piece reading vlog. Have I posted a single one of them? Absolutely not. But they are of course all going to be posted, but I still need to keep reading One Piece because I am very behind of where I want to be and I want to catch up of where I want to be right now. The schedule I made for myself in my head, no one else has. And obviously we are on now Omnibus. I don't know what happened there with my voice, but either way, Volume 10, which means that we are on 28, 29, and 30, which to me seems insane because I feel like we just started. I mean, we did start in August, and I made more progress in this than I did over like 3.5 years with Berserk. So, like, yeah, that's what I got to say. Okay, well, without further ado, I guess we're just gonna get started. We are on volume 28, as I just said, Wyper the Berserker, and I almost called this Berserk earlier because the volume was called the Berserker. And we are on chapter 256, which I feel like that's also insane. And that chapter is called Wyper the Berserker. So let's see what it has, and I will let you know very soon. I'm a bit unsure what was going on in this chapter. We had like some of the people in like one of the Skypiea like villages place that you've seen like glimpses of while like Luffy and the others have been going around getting lost and fighting that dude with the balls. And then one of them saying he's going to take down all the others. I understand if there's like 100 gods or kamis. And then he's going to take, he says there will only be 5 left. And then we see him take down some. He looks a bit like Zoro. But I don't actually understand if he was a berserker. Or was that actually Zoro, honestly? This looks like Zoro, honestly. It's not. Because he has like these markings. I don't actually know what's going on. There seems some kind of fight between them in the jungle. Maybe one of them like went against the others, didn't want to have this rule or whatever they're doing here anymore. Going to chapter 257, which is Dial Battle, and I'm gonna pretend I know what's going on. Let's go. Okay, so we have the gods fighting each other. No, kamis or whatever. Gods, kamis, what do you want to call them? We have another one being defeated, and then we have the old dude with the others on the ship explaining like the power of dials, and that's where they get power. I didn't really get that either. And then we have Luffy hearing a sound and thinking it was a goat, but it was not a goat. It was one of the people fighting in the forest. He's confused. I'm confused. Because some people, you know, is in the ship and the others are in the jungle. I don't actually know what's going on right now. I get that they're fighting and they're defeating each other, but I'm like, am I supposed to know who the people that are fighting each other are? Am I supposed to care about them? I don't know. Chapter 258, The Many Souths. Let's go. Okay, so we see like a kind of map thing overview over the jungle lane, and that they were supposed to go out forest, jungle, whatever. They were supposed to go straight south. No one is going straight south, so we're going now first Zoro when he met one of like the god thingies and they are fighting. We also like met Luffy before that, and he's like starting his fight, but then we switch over to Zoro, so we didn't see Luffy's finished fight. So I assume they're all gonna have like their own thing with like one warrior kami each, because the next chapter 259 Pirate Zoro versus warrior Braham. So I assume that warrior Braham is the one he's fighting. So everyone's getting small cool fights. Love to see it. Let's go. So Zoro needs to take forward his 3 swords, hot, and then the other dude is like shooting on him, and he's like, oh, I have a gun, duh. And then Zoro's like, well, I am a cannon. And then he uses like this super cool attack where he's like swoosh around, and then he beats the dude, and it's like, sorry, I don't have anything against you, but you tried to kill me, bye. And then in the end, we see someone visiting the ship with Nami and the others, and it's like, ha ha ha, here to greet an old friend. It's been 6 years from a Kami Gun 4. So it's like talking to the old Sky Knight dude, obviously, with them. But the next chapter is called Pirate Luffy versus Berserker Wyper. So we are getting his fight now, which is chapter 260. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so apparently the one that came to visit Skynet, as I like to call him, he apparently like burned Sanji, so they actually thought that Sanji was dead. I just missed that apparently. Or I just like didn't understand because I saw someone on the ground and I was like, who was that again? Because you couldn't see. But his heart is still beating, so he is so far alive. But then he just disappears. He just said some stuff and disappeared. And then we switch over to Luffy's fight, and he's still like, he's still fighting. They are looking at each other bloody and annoyed. So that fight is not over yet. They like, he did attacks and gun pistol and gun bazooka and blah 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 blah. I'm not going to describe the whole fight. And now we have chapter 261, Warrior Genbo versus Heavenly Warrior Commander Yama. That was a long thing, and I don't know who either is. So let's see how this goes. Okay, a lot of quick pieces moving around right now. First we have Luffy still in his fight, but then he falls down in this hole. So he doesn't really know where he is, I think. At least that's what it seems like. And then we have Robin finding this like tablet thing, and she's looking for the unknown history, as we know. And she's like, maybe this is it. And then we have the two people that was the chapter titles, Genbo and Heavily Warrior Yama fighting. And they stop in front of Nami. And they're like, ah, and then they're trying to attack her. And then we switch over to Chopper, who can't find the others. And then he's like, he meets one of the soldier dudes in the forest. And he's like, who is that? And he's scared. So the next chapter is called 262, Pirate Chopper versus Vassal Gedatsu. So now he's gonna have his little fight. So Chopper has his little fight. First he's very, very scared, but then he's like, I'm gonna show everyone that I deserve to be a pirate. I deserve to be here. And then he goes like, whoa, and then has his moment. But the fight is still not over. So there's a lot of fight going on, but they're not over. Kind of, I feel like. Yeah. So now we have chapter 263, which is really long title. It's Pirate Nami and the Weird Knights versus Heavenly Warriors, Subcommanders, Hotori, and Kotori. That was the longest title I have ever read in my life. Lol. So let's see what's going on. I feel a bit stupid because I feel like I just come on and be like, this person had this fight with this person. But Nami had her fight as well with like the people that showed up there. She was very cool. Usopp was just totally out of it. I also think that in the beginning Chopper won his fight. And it was like the dude kind of could shrink. So he like beat him down, but then he shrunk away or something. In the beginning, that dude was like sinking in quicksand, but then was immune against it or something. Nami is badass. She is kicking these guys' asses. And now we are over to Robin again, who's also being attacked by someone in the end. But the next chapter is called 264 Warrior Kamakiri versus Kami and Eneru. But that's not Robin. So I have no idea. But let's see. So we had Braham actually getting owned. I was just a bit surprising. I feel like we've seen her being smart and not getting owned for so long. And then Nami sees someone or something. Sanji and Usopp are out. And she's like, what is that? And I don't actually know. And then we have like the dude fighting the other warrior dude. The ones that were the titles of the chapter. And he's beating people super easily. The one I thought was Zoro, I think, earlier. I actually don't know who he is yet. Like, did we introduce him properly except like see me in the village earlier and now just fighting people? It says there's so and so many people left. Total number left standing 25. And the Straw Hat crew file left. Versus Luffy, Nami, Zoro, Chopper, Robin. Isn't that more than... No, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't count. Usopp and Sanji out of this. But yeah, that was actually the end already of volume 28. Which was basically just setting up lots of fights. And we go into volume 29, which name is Oratorio. Actually, oh my god, it says here, Kami Forges, the name of the characters. So Skypiea's one and only Kami, that is Kami Eneru. But he's the one who's like taking everyone down. Eneru. I'm saying it like kind of English. Obviously, that's not how you would say it in Japanese. But I feel weird saying it in Japanese when I speak English. I don't know. Okay, let's go to chapter 265. Pirate Robin versus Heavenly Warrior Commander Yama. Which was like the one underneath Eneru. Let's see how this goes. Okay, in this one we kind of see like a little status update of where everyone is, which kind of makes sense since like it was probably a little break between the volumes, but the chapter came out with weeks, I don't know, I think. And then we see like the dude again counting how many is left. He says 24 remain, and then we see again Robin fighting the dude, and she actually owns him. She has like hand powers. She does like things with her hands, and his hands come off from the ground, and she owns him, and he is flung off a cliff. Is he flung over, or does he go over by himself? No, he's flung over. And yeah, she's just really badass. It was really cool. I feel like right now she's the most powerful in a way, but obviously the others are as well. Chapter 266, Pirate Chopper versus Vassal. Didn't he just have a fight? Poor guy is just running around being attacked. Quite rude, to be honest. So we have Robin coming to kind of this abandoned ruin city. I don't even know what to call it. It looks really cool, and it seems like Chopper's does as well, but on another side. And he meets this big guard dog kind of thing for a second, and then he meets who they seem to be starting a fight, if I'm not incorrect, or he's just having a speech. I don't even know. Actually, we have Zoro arriving on another side. And we also have Luffy adding up on the other side. So let's see if they all meet and what do we find. Chapter 267 is March. Okay, so everyone is just stuck in their own thing. Luffy is stuck in this cave thing and he cannot get out. The ship is being attacked. Zoro does arrive to the ruins. He's being carried by this huge bird that kind of helps him or not. And then like loads of like the different creatures are trying to stop him to enter the ruins, which is like the wolf and I think. But where did Chopper go? I actually don't know. Like, what happened to Chopper? Now I need to look back. Did he not also meet these people? I feel bad for Luffy and just in the cage. No, because Chopper, the last time we saw him, he was just like shocked. He says he would save him, but takes out his sword, but we don't actually see what happens to him. So how is I thought that Zoro met the same people. I'm confused. I guess we'll find out. Chapter 268. Sweet. So let's see. Robin is just having like a full-on exploration of like Shandora, the lost city of gold. Shandora is almost Sandora, which is my name in Japanese. It gives me like Aztec vibes, I think. It's the right word, maybe not. And then we have Zoro still fighting and then he's like, he sees Chop on the ground who's hurt. So we did see him again. We're totally confused. And he's feeling emotions to see him down in that way. And now we have chapter 269, which is Concerto. And we shall see what happens next. I love that Robin is just full in explore mode where everyone is struggling. Okay, we see for moments some of the sky people fighting again. And then Luffy's just trying to like dig himself out of this cave he's stuck in. I bet it's like part of like the buildings, and then when something is gonna ruin, he's gonna appear. So Nami and Isa is there, and I honestly, who is Isa? Have I forgotten? I feel really stupid in this. Now I need to look back. Isa. It doesn't say. It says Isa is one of the Shandians, but I don't actually remember when we met Isa. I actually have no idea. It's a girl, but which of the girls? Is it a girl? I don't know. Or is someone seeing Isa? But it's just a dude we're looking at. Nami's only there, and then distracts her who gets hurt. And then they said, like, oh my god, you were distracted, so you're bad. That's chapter 270, Serenade. Last chapter, I forgot to say the Bolt's big beanstalk thing, which is obviously a reference to Jack the Beanstalk. And now it seems like Zoro's trapped in it, like a cage for like a challenge thing. And then there's this woman saying that he should back down because the one that is like on their side, what was it called again? She said, Wyper, listen to me. Eneru is in the forest. Kamakiri has been defeated. He had a message for you. And then her name is Rocky and it's telling her to go away. And Eneru actually shows up. And then there's a big snake that wants to take them. And then now someone needs to fight. And it seems like that dude, Wyper, is on maybe Zoro's side right now. But it's a bit confusing because I feel like we didn't get to introduce his characters properly like we usually do. Like we kind of saw them and then we just saw someone flying around fighting. Or is it just me? I remember the father and the daughter that I met when I arrived there. But who are these other people? Obviously now we've seen it for a bit, but I'm still confused of like who belongs to what or who they really are. Maybe I missed something. Nami and the others also got like swallowed into this large room, which is also where Luffy is. So Nami is with the Sky Warrior and the little girl, I think, Isa, who honestly, when did we meet her? I feel really stupid. Did I miss something? Am I like in a different world? I feel like I've seen them and now I've seen them talk in the beginning and now I realize that was them. Sorry, I'm just checking back here. When we met Isa, no idea, honestly. Was she in the last one? I can't recall. Chapter 271, Pirate Zoro versus Vassal. It's fine. I know she's there now. It's fine. Apparently, the K that Luffy's in is the stomach of the big snake. So now they're all in the snake dummy. And then Zoro's fighting the dude. And at first, he's saying, like, how does he predict all the attacks? Because Zoro can't hit him. And, like, predicts, like, all the attacks so he gets hurt a bit. And then he takes forward his third sword, obviously. Because He's cool, and then he manages to hit him. And he says he deflected an iron cloud, and an iron cloud was something he used earlier. And explained that they had that in parts of their weapons or something, and that's part of their weapons. I don't even know. But Zoro's probably yelling out his attacks now. He said earlier 101 pound tree sword style, pound phoenix. Has he always yelled out his attack in this way? Have they always had numbers? I think I lost it, guys. I lost it completely. Chapter 272, play. I almost forgot that the golden city we were in is the city that the dreamer dude in the last volume was looking for. I forgot that was the plot, kind of. Robin goes around on notorious as she is and studying the golden city of Shandora and realizes this place went under. It was ruined in the service of protecting the poneglyph. The city tried to protect its history. So interesting. And then the Kami dude shows up and it's like, interesting, blah, 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 blah. We switch over to actually the daughter of the dude all the way in the beginning. I think she's with her father or someone at least. And he's saying that the Kami has decided to land this whole island down into the blue sea again. And that everyone up there will die. And then we switch over to Zoro again, who's fighting. And he looks really cool. Then the whole ground is caving in, I think, because of the Kami. So everyone is falling. And then, let's move on to the final, the Kami says. I actually am very confused. Chapter 273, Quintet, however you pronounce that. Let's see. Okay, so Nami and the others do manage to get out of the snake. And they're in the Golden City, obviously, and it's like, where are we? And then Zoro's like, what are you guys doing there? And Robin is as well. And then Luffy is still stuck in there. And the Kami shows up and says, I predicted there would be 5 people left, but now we are more than that, so I need to get rid of few of you. Oh, as my prediction is wrong. And they're like, but Zoro and the warrior dude, I forgot his name, that I still kind of don't know actually who is, but the warrior dude who's with them and kind of on their side, Wyper says that you are the one we should get rid of, like the Kami dude. So yeah, I guess he says that it is my homeland, so I guess he's one of the people there, was from there, but they've been living here this whole time. I don't even remember when we met this dude. Chapter 274, Oratorio, which is the name of this volume, I think. I feel like we met him now. And then I was just, it was in one of those fights. And I just got confused. And also we saw him all the way in the beginning of the volume talking with people who live there. They were like in one of the villages places. I'm still confused. Okay, so the Kami had devised this game, so these few people would be the chosen one left to live in this world he's going to create of Kamis where they're going to land. The Sky Warrior did tell him, like, there's no Kamis, there's only humans, this is a place for humans, and it seemed like the dude, Wyper, was one of the human, like, people down on the ground, while, like, the Kamis and the other side have been fighting up, and now they're kind of rebelling against them. I actually don't know, I'm just assuming stuff. He kind of lightning striked the Sky Warrior dude, and he went down, and now he also did it with Robin, so we should see if she survives. This will probably be fine. But yeah, he basically had this long speech of like what he wanted to do, and that he wanted to land island, and they were like, you would kill everyone here, this is a place for humans, not Kamis, and they're like, there, yeah. He had his like supervillain speech, as I like to call it. He's very powerful. Can Luffy come out now? But obviously we need a bit like, we need to put Luffy away a bit before he can come out and do the final stuff, you know. Chapter 275, Divina Commedia. That's a play on the Divine Comedy. I'm a bit slow sometimes. After Robin gets struck, Zoro's mad and attacks the Kami, but seems to get a bit owned because he's hit by lightning. Then Wyper picks up. It seems like one of the indigenous people of this land, and that these Kamis came and took over and like stole their land, because like we see a flashback when he was a kid and they talk about like, the history and how this is their homeland and they belong here. And then it seems like the Kami is defeated and is like lying on the ground. And then everyone's like, oh my god, you did it. But then he wakes up and it's like, fear is the Kami. So he was not beaten after all. And we are sad. We actually finished with volume 29 and are going to volume 30. Oh my god. In the trees now. Not in the actual trees, like trees with leaves, but like the number 3. I kind of understand a bit more now. I just took a while because there was like so many people fighting in the forest and I didn't know who was who. But yeah, let's go to chapter 276, Shandian Rythm. So I felt I'd talk more about Wyper now and how he has, like, he's a warrior trying to reclaim his homeland and has been doing so for a long time. I felt like we never got an explanation for him as a side. He just came out of nowhere and we saw him fight people and I didn't know who was who. But whatever. He got defeated. He got hit by lightning a couple of times. Zoro rises up again and gets hit by lightning. Everyone is defeated except Nami. She's just like, I'll go with you. Obviously, she's, tricking him, but she doesn't know what to do. She's gonna go with him. It's gonna be fine. We saw one of the villagers gonna say, report criminals, like some soldiers that work for him, and saying that if they see criminals, they need to report them to them in a village or something. Then we have chapter 277, Maxim. Okay, so Nami is taken to Maxim the Ark, which is like actually a flying ship, and she realizes that if they have their flying ships, he can't escape. But it makes sense it's called the Ark because everyone that he wants to survive is going to go on that boat and they will survive when the island is destroyed or whatever. I wonder if they need to take everyone there while it gets destroyed. That would be really sad because these people have been fighting for 400 years to reclaim their homeland. Luffy with Aisha is out of the snake and they found everyone pass out and he's like, Zoro, how? And then Robin is awake and tells him that Nami has been taken and he's like, bring me to them because Aisha can hear voices on the island because she is connected to her homeland, which is cool. So now we have chapter 278, Conis. Okay, so if you see the girl all the way in the beginning, is her name Angel? I don't actually know. I could probably check. Wait. The girl that was like with them in the beginning. And now I realize that why they had to do what they did. Because they are under this regime from the commies that are evil. And it just took me really long to realize how everything hung together. And I understand fully now what is going on. Okay? I needed time. My brain needed to understand like the workings of this island. Her name is Conis, actually, so which is why probably the chapter was named Conis. She arrived at the village of one of them, I don't know how many there are, and said that the island's going to be destroyed. They all need to evacuate because she doesn't want them to die. They need to leave. And I don't believe her, obviously, and they're super scary and saying she's doing treason, but then nothing happens. That she's not being punished when saying this because he probably doesn't care at the moment because he's been winning. And then he says he's with Nami in this big ship and says that, oh my god, my predictions were wrong because there are more people survived than I thought or something. And then Nami smiles because she sees someone standing outside and that is Luffy and he looks very angry and he says, what did you do to my crew? And Kami answers, which pieces of garbage are you referring to? And then chapter ended. So we have 279 Pirate Luffy versus Kami and Eneru, which I obviously think is going to go terribly before it goes better. Let's see. We start the chapter with a little update on the village and if they're actually moving or not. Seems like they cannot make up their mind. Then we have Luffy attacking the Kami. And Kami uses all his lightning power on Luffy, obviously. And then Luffy just, no, nothing happens. And he uses all his power again and like, nothing happens. And then it's like, Nami's like, lightning power doesn't work on Luffy because he's made out of rubber. And the face that the Kami made. I'm joking. Look at this. That's amazing. He looks so scared. And Luffy pits him. And then Nami says, maybe Luffy is the one and only of Kami's natural enemies. And I'm like, it seems like he is, to be honest. And it's hilarious. I love it. I mean, obviously, Luffy hasn't had other people that are his natural, like, that he's a natural enemy for. He has struggled with a lot of them. But this one, maybe he has one advantage, which is funny to me. So we have chapter 280, which is floating. Dang, Luffy! Who turned sassy this chapter? Okay. So he does hit him, but then he's like, well, I have other things I can fight with. And he uses his sword spear thing and he uses electricity. He doesn't understand what rubber is because they don't have it up there. But he does understand he can't use his lightning, but he uses lots of other powers. The ship also starts, so they are like, they need to go with it. They do want to jump off, but then they can't stop it. Is he going to use the ship to go up in the sky and like make it fall down an island so it falls down? And then everything explodes like they do in Age of Ultron. The Avengers. And then Nami's like panicking. She's like, what do we do? What do we do? And then he's like, quit worrying. And she's like, but. And then Luffy's like, you are a crew member of the future king of the pirates. Stop looking so pathetic. And I'm like, Luffy didn't come out to play today. That's hilarious. I love that. They tried to like fight before that, but he's not doing that well. But let's see if they manage to defeat him. Chapter 281. Deathpiea. So not Skypiea, but Deathpiea. We don't like that. Okay, so the Kami has this power where you can predict his attacks, which makes it hard to like defeat him, which is also why Zoro lost to him. And then like he can read his mind in a way. So then Luffy decides to use this other power. After he tells her that he's going to collect lightning clouds that destroy the whole island, which is why they're up in the air, kind of. More up in the air than they already were. And then Luffy uses this gum space out where he just like turns stupid, so he doesn't think. He just acts on instinct, so then he can't really predict his attacks because he doesn't think at all. And then he used like Gum Gum Octopus, like his like legs become mushy, and then he like kind of just did it to fling around, but he doesn't think about the attacks. But then he actually manages to take in a few hits, and he also tried to damage the ship, I think, or maybe he's just the attacks went wild because he doesn't think about them or something. Chapter 282. Desire. Goosebump moments! Okay, so first we have Luffy and the Kami fighting. It looks like he beat him a bit, but then he didn't, and then Luffy fell off together with Isa and the bird that tried to help, I think. And then Nami's like telling him that like if she is just stuck with him, it's like being alone, and then she's basically rude, and people see the ship fall off, and people in like the villages and stuff have been screaming and being scared this whole time. I just haven't mentioned it. And then we are with, I've forgotten her name, Conis back at like the Mary, and then she's like, where's Usopp and Sanji? They were not well enough to move. But then we see someone up in a rope going up towards the ship. And it looks like maybe Sanji and Usopp are on their way. You know, these people are just sick for like 5 minutes and then they're fine. So I'm sure we will be okay. And now it's 283 on the front line of rescuing love. Okay, so Usopp and Sanji are on the ship. Braham does know they are there. And it's like, you think you're going to be rescued now just because 2 people just landed and think they're going to rescue? It's not going to happen. We see the people of the island actually evacuating. So hopefully they will be okay. I just is with Luffy, and he landed really weirdly under like this ball thing, the ball of gold it was called. It's gonna help me. She's saying that they should go back to Rob, and then they're gonna chase down the ship from the ground somehow. Luffy can do anything he sets his mind to, I do believe. And then Nami picked up like his weapon thingy where you can use thunder stuff or like lightning stuff, but she fails, and then Usopp comes and kind of like throws a bomb on him in the last moments before he can attack Nami, the Kami. So 284. It's called Sorry. Who is sorry? I don't know. It's going great. So first Usopp is like, help me, to Nami. She's like, didn't you come to rescue me? And he's like, no. And then they run off. And then he distracted Kami a bit where she's trying to get like the scooter thing that she used earlier to get off there. And then she does, but then he's like, Usopp, come on. And then like, we need to find Sanji. And then like he's like, take my hand. But then he stops her for taking his hand. But then Sanji comes and kicks him. And then like they actually are both on the scooter. And then Sanji's like, go. And Nami's like, no, we can't leave you. And then Usopp is like, forget about him. He made his decision as a man. And they do go off. I think Nami landed on like a safe like sky cloud thing. And Usopp is like still hanging there while Sanji's like, I was looking for a fight. So I'm glad I got one. And then he actually literally passes out right after. But then the ship stops because apparently when he was gone, he did something with the ship. And Kami's not happy about it. So yeah, very fun. Chapter 285 is Capriccio. I don't know how to say it. But that was the name of the volume, which I forgot to say earlier. And it's the last chapter. And we are done with the 10th omnibus of One Piece. So in this, we just had everyone meeting up again, actually, even Robin and the others. They all felt like, oh, what happened to that person? What happened to that person? But they all realized that they're all there now. Sora's still knocked out on the ground. And then Luffy knows that he's going after the bell. So he's running up like this cliffside with a big ball of gold. And it's there, I'm going to stop you. And now the island has started to be hit by lightning in different places. He's sending it down from the sky. And he looks very evil doing so. So will Luffy stop them? I actually think the whole place is gonna fall. But I was wondering, when everyone evacuated, they wanted to evacuate to the Blue Sea. How do they do that without... Wasn't it like really hard to get out of there? I don't actually recall. I think they talked about it in the last one. And it seemed like really difficult. So I'm unsure. But that was it. I'm so sorry for being so confused in the beginning. Honestly, it was because maybe I didn't understand fully like how this Sky place worked, like with like the villagers, etc., and all like the Kami fights. But I do understand it now, I swear. It just took me a moment, and I like a part of me actually want to reread the last one and like the first volume of this one to like comprehend it fully, because when I was reading it, I was so confused. But I do understand like now the Kami when he won and he defeated everyone, he's gonna ruin this island. But like in the beginning, when everyone was separated, I was a bit confused of like the new characters when they arrived, like who they were and where they came from, even though we had seen them earlier. But I thought that they were all like the Kamis. at the time. But it makes sense now, I swear. Okay. But I think the last one is already the last one in Skypiea. It's only 3 like omnibuses in Skypiea, so it's a short arc. I mean, granted, the 2 others were only 4 each, but it still feels much longer for some reason. But yeah, I had a grand time. Obviously, very excited to see this wrap up and see how they resolve this because I love all the fights and I love all of them so much. And I had a grand time. So thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a lightning bolt down below or like some kind of lightning. You should see me soon in a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.